Hello everyone, my name is Trooper and welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing you guys how to set up and install a QBCore FiveM server for free in 2026. So first things first, click the first link down in the description below. That's going to bring you guys right here to download something called XAMPP. Every FiveM server that has some form of database requires XAMPP. XAMPP lets you connect to MySQL and Apache, which is what FiveM servers use in order to run a database. That is for your economy, for saving player data, etc. So come to this link down in the description below and download XAMPP. It's a simple exe and just run it. Once you've done that, open up XAMPP. It'll look like this and make sure you have Apache and MySQL started. So just click start next to MySQL and Apache. And every time you start your FiveM server up, this will need to be started. And then from here, we're good to go ahead and set up the FiveM server. So click the next link down in the description below, and that's going to bring you guys right here to the FiveM server artifacts. And what you guys are going to want to do is download the latest version available to you, which is this one right at the top, the blue download link. Ignore this here. This hasn't been updated for years. Just click the blue one right at the top. Give it a click. It will download as a zip. If you don't have a zip opener, just install one. You can install WinRAR or 7-zip, but I'm assuming most of you by now do have one. If you don't, I'll leave one down in the description below. It's just a simple exe. Once you've done that, once it's downloaded, open it on up using your zip opener, like so. You're going to see all of the basic FiveM server files that we need in order to run a FiveM server. So let's minimize to our desktop. And what you're going to want to do here is create the FiveM server. If you don't want to create the FiveM server on your desktop, you can do it wherever you want, but I'm doing it on my desktop so it's easier. So we're going to right click, new folder, and we're going to call it FiveM Server. From here, you're going to open that FiveM Server folder on up, right click, make a new folder, and call this one Server Files. Inside of this Server Files folder, we're going to grab all of the files inside of the zip and drag and drop them inside of the Server Files folder. From here, we can close the zip on down. We no longer need that. And what you're going to do is scroll on down and find this red icon right here, the fxserver.exe. And this is how we're going to always start our FiveM server. We're going to come here, double click that to launch it if we ever do close it. So for the first step of running a FiveM server, just double click the fxserver.exe. It will likely pop up saying Windows protected your PC. It's because it's an unknown application. Just click more info and run anyway. And it's going to pop up with a little window like this, and it should, if you give it a couple seconds, automatically pop up a browser. Boom, just like this. And this browser page is going to be TXadmin, and TXadmin is how you manage your FiveM server. It's like the dashboard. So it's going to automatically fill the code from your console on your own PC. Click link account, and from here, it's going to ask you to sign in to your cfx.re account. Because I've already signed in, it's just asking me if I want to continue. If you haven't made a cfx.re account, just make one. It is the official FiveM forums website, which of course is now owned by Rockstar Games, so it's very safe. Just click continue, and now it'll take you to TXadmin, signed in to your cfx.re account. From here, we're going to make ourselves a backup password. If you do not remember the login to your FiveM account for whatever reason, you will not be able to access your FiveM server unless you know your TXadmin backup password. So make sure it is something you know. Agree to the rules and click register. From here, we're going to pick our server name. Don't worry, you can change this if you want to, but for now, I'm just going to do Highway Trooper. And then click next. Now, for the deployment type, we're going to go into popular recipes. And whereas in my previous FiveM server tutorial, we selected the FiveM basic server, this time we're going to be selecting QBCore. Give that a click. It's going to take you to your data location. Do not mess with this. Just click save. And then click go to recipe deployer. Right here, it's going to give you an overview of all the scripts it's installing. Just click next. And now it's going to ask you to put in your server registration key. So to get that, click this green little hyperlink right here. It'll take you to the cfx.re portal. Sign on in with that exact same cfx.re account we signed into earlier with TXadmin. Make yourself a new key or copy an old key that you have. Come back on over to TXadmin and paste the key in. If you haven't made a key before in the past, you can just click generate key right here. But as you can see, I've reached my key limit. All you got to do is enter a name and it'll make you a key. Once you got the key anyway, go to TXadmin, paste it in. And just before we hit run recipe, we do need to make sure again that we have XAMPP open with Apache and MySQL running. If we don't, it will give you an error that it cannot connect to the database. But if we hit run recipe now, it should be good. And there you guys go. You can see it is installing and setting up our QBCore FiveM RP server for us. And there you go. Once it is finished downloading, it's going to pop up with the directory in your file explorer. We'll just close that for now. And it will say done. And all you got to do is hit next. From here, it's going to show you your server.cfg, which is basically your settings file for your FiveM server. Here you can change the name, you can install new mods, etc., etc., and you can set yourself as admin. But you'll automatically be set as admin by default as long as you are signed in to the same cfx.re account that we signed into here as you are on the FiveM launcher. But we should be good now to click save and run server, and boom. There you guys go. We have now actually just set up an entire QBCore RP server in literally just a couple of minutes. Pretty simple and straightforward. What I recommend doing now is letting it go ahead and install a bunch of things. You can see right here, it's installing a bunch of different chat resources and basic resources. Let it do its thing. Otherwise, if you shut it down right now, it's going to freak out. And the next time you start it, you won't have these things that it's installing. So let it install them. And there you go. You can see it's installed the screenshot basic, started the resource screenshot basic. So we should be good to go now. But real quick, I'm going to show you a couple of things. So if you head on over to the CFG editor right here is your settings. I wouldn't really mess around with anything too much, but you can change your host name. So if I don't want to have this bit at the end by default where it says QBCore recipe, we can just delete it. Same with this bit here, the QBCore framework for the project name, and we can set ourselves a custom description if we wanted to. But from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is if you have made any changes, just restart your server for those server.cfg changes to come to effect. We're going to go ahead and join our FiveM server. So to do that, if your FiveM server is running on a Windows VPS like mine, what you guys are going to need is your Windows VPS IP address. If you don't know it, just go onto Google and search what is my IP address right here. Use the first website that comes up and grab your IPv4 address. If you're running it on your own PC, you do not need to worry about that. You can connect using localhost. But if you do want your friends to join, they will need your IP in order to join. However, you will also need to port forward. I will do a video on port forwarding very, very soon in 2026, but I do have previous videos on port forwarding in 2025 and 24, and probably 23. And it's all very similar, and you can still follow those along in order to do so. But port forwarding is basically letting your server be public. Anyway, let's go ahead and join our FiveM server. So let's launch the FiveM client. Okay, so once you booted up FiveM, in order to connect to your FiveM server, if it's running on your own PC, you should actually see a little thing appear under here. And it will say connect to local server. Just give that a click and it will connect you to the FiveM server running on your own PC. However, if that doesn't appear, all you got to do is press F8. In this F8 console log, what you guys are going to want to type is connect. And if it's running on your own PC, type localhost, and that will connect you to any server running on your local network. However, if you're running it on a VPS, for example, like me, type connect and paste on in that IP address that we got earlier. Click enter, and you will see I can start connecting to my FiveM server. And there you guys go. I am now connecting and joining my brand new QBCore FiveM server, just like that. Super simple and straightforward. If you guys are looking to host your next FiveM server on a Windows VPS and you don't want to run it on your own PC, you can check out my company, HTNetwork, down in the description below. We have VPS hosting. And if you also don't want the faff of having to mod your QBCore server, you can check out my QBCore all-in-one packages, which you can also get down in the description below or in the shoppings tab of YouTube. It's basically a fully modded QBCore server with custom vehicles, cars, and clothing, and scripts and interface mods and custom phone, everything you would want, and you install it all in one click using a custom application.